Hi, I'm Raborn Johnson for Sample Library Review, and today I'm checking out Svblime Est by Cinematic Alpha. In Svblime Est, Cinematic Alpha have presented an orchestral library created only from synthesis, morphing, and audio post-processing. The traditional orchestral instruments are covered, with multiple additions like choirs, harps, and more. Svblime Est requires the full version of Contact 6.6.1 or above. It requires 12.26 gigabytes of hard drive space and comes with 70 patches, 160 phrases, 40 loops, 15 multis, 40 multi-phrases, and even some synth patches for the free Vital synth. Svblime Est is available from Cinematic Alpha for $439. So today we're checking out Svblime Est by Cinematic Alpha. And this is a really unusual library in that it's an orchestral library, but not in the traditional sense. So whereas most orchestral libraries are obviously using samples of real orchestras, with Svblime Est, Cinematic Alpha have actually created this completely from synthesis, from morphing, and from doing some audio post-processing to imitate an orchestra. So the idea here is not really to, create an exact orchestra, but to give you something that's more synthetic, but yet really harkens back and reminds you of an orchestra. So there's a lot of folders that we're looking at here. You can see that there's a full folder, a solo, phrases, miscellaneous, and multis. So there's a whole lot of content here, and the entire orchestra is covered in addition to things like choirs and harps and some other miscellaneous instruments. So we're just going to dive right in. As always, we're only going to get to scratch the surface today, but hopefully we give you a good idea of what this instrument is about and let you hear a lot of different patches to let you really see what Svblime Est is all about. So let's go into the full folder, and you'll see here that we have strings, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. So let's go into strings, and let's just go ahead and audition some of the string patches, starting with slow strings. It's a lovely patch. This one is movimento strings. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. Let's give it a try. It's almost like a rebowing effect there, which is really nice. And there's a flautando. Let's give that a whirl. Really, really lovely. These strings are nice. All right, let's try the legato strings, and obviously, since this is made from synthesis, this will be interesting to see what the legato is all about. You can see there's actually three different legato. Let me correct myself. There's a legato that uses the mod wheel, and then one called a fake legato with a mod wheel. So let's give that a try. So that's like a polyphonic legato, I guess. Let's give the one with the mod wheel a try. And let's give the fake legato strings mod. Okay, now that one is monophonic, so I'm going to do some mod wheel on this one as well. Okay, now that was one that you really can't play quite as fast because you've got that portamento happening, and when you're playing it fast, it's really, that portamento is really, it's almost a little bit too stretchy. So let's go slow on this one. All right, we're going to jump down a little bit. There's so much content here. Again, we're not going to be able to get to all of the patches, but hopefully this gives you a good idea of what the library contains. So here's the spiccato. Let's try the golden harp here. Wow, I really like that harp. That's really nice. And you'll see that you actually have some string runs here. There's a major and a minor patch. So let's start with the major. That's nice. That's useful. And that's, of course, tempo synced with your DAW. Here's the minors. And let's jump down to the horror strings and end the strings on that note. No pun intended. And that's interesting. I am doing nothing but holding down one chord. All of that modulation is happening in the scripting. All right, let's give the woodwinds folder a try. This is the full woodwinds. And we have the fake legato with this one as well. So that's more like the polyphonic again. Okay, let's do the slow woodwinds movimento. And let's go to the staccato. And we have the runs as well for the woodwinds. It's the major, and let's do the minor. All right, let's jump down to the brass folder. And here we start out with the horns with the mod wheel. So I'm going to play just in the right hand and work the mod wheel a little bit with the left, and then we'll go a little bit lower and see what we've got. And horns opening. That almost sounds like a pipe organ. That's interesting. Let's go to the horn staccato. And again, with the horns, you have the major and minor runs. And the minor. And let's go to the opening trumpets. And the movimento. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the percussion. In the percussion, you can see that we've got a whole lot of different things going on here, and I've got to say, just playing around with the percussion a little bit before the review, this is one of the most impressive sections and one of the most surprising sections to me. We're going to start at the bottom. I mean, really, really neat. To me, that's just super impressive that that's done through nothing but synthesis and that there's no samples involved. That's really, really cool. There's tubular bells. And let's try the timpani. Let's jump down to the glockenspiel. That's beautiful. I like that. Let's jump down to the vibraphone. All right. So that is the full folder. Now let's move to the solo folder, and you'll see you've got a lot of different solo instruments going on here. We've got bass legato, we've got bass pizzicato and staccato, you've got a cello quartet legato with tremolo, pizzicato and staccato. Brass, you've got tuba and tuba staccato. You can see there's just a lot of things going on here. So again, just scratching the surface, but just to give you an idea, let's start out with the bass legato with portamento. Really impressive that that's just nothing but synthesis. Let's try the upright bass. And let's jump down to the cello quartet legato. And let's try the cello quartet pizzicato. And let's do the staccato in the cello's quartet. And let's try the brass tuba. All right, let's jump down to the woodwinds accordion. And we've got the clarinet legato and fake legato, so let's just do the legato one. And let's do the regular flute legato. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the phrases folder. And in the phrases folder, you once again have the same instruments that you have in the main folder, in the full folder, the strings, horns, woodwinds, trumpets, and percussion. But this time you have pre-programmed phrases or scripted phrases. And you can see in the strings, there's both a normal and a shuffle. So let's just pick just a few of these just to give you an idea. These are really kind of performance patches that you can blend in to your DAW to kind of, serve as a rhythmic bed beneath what you're playing. Let's jump down to Toxic Love. Really nice. These are neat. Let's try Modern House. And how about Beautiful Dancer? Let's try that one. All right, let's try just a couple from the Shuffle folder. Let's try Beyond the Sea to start with. And let's try one more. How about Epic Fire? All right, so that's the strings. Let's go down to the horns. Let's do a few of the horns. How about Venezia? And how about Baroque Light? All right, let's jump down to the woodwinds. And how about the Grand Gala? And let's try Superhero. And let's go to the trumpets. How about the Conqueror? And let's go ahead and jump down to the percussion. And there's actually a NKI for the percussion. It looks like a single NKI, so let's give that a try. And let's go to the miscellaneous folder. So here we have some different patches that are kind of outside the norm for orchestral sampling. Here we start with the dystopian bass and cello. Now, if you're wanting to do a really dark kind of thriller, that would be a perfect patch for that. It makes me want to try dystopian strings. Let's give it a whirl. How about the Angelic Choirs pad? Wow, that's really gorgeous. I like that a lot. Let's try the fake legato on that one. Let's try the Glorious Choirs pad with the mod wheel. I'm going to play just the right hand. That is lovely. I'm really liking these choir patches a lot. Let's try the clock piano. And now let's try a few of the multis. There's a couple of different folders in the multi folder. There's an ensemble and miscellaneous, and then there's a full ARP. So let's go ahead and let's try the full ensemble first. And you can see that in this one, we have brass and trumpets, legato strings, brass and horns, full woodwinds, and spiccato. So let's just see what that comes out to. And let's try full staccato. So we've got a lot of different staccato and spiccato instruments. Looks like especially brass, but some woodwinds as well. Let's try, how about special case? So we've got clock piano, dystopian bass and cello, a solo flute legato, carillon, I'm not familiar with that, and then a reverse on that. When you hold that out, you can really hear those reverses ringing in. I like that. How about Epic Love? All right, let's go ahead and jump to the full ARP. And let's start with the normal. And this is I think built on an arpeggiator script. So let's see what we've got. We've got 5 different instruments going on. Let's just hold down some chords and see what we get. And let's do Cremona. How about Barbarian? That's pretty cool. How about Reportage? Let's do a couple of more. How about Lovely Bandit? And last, but definitely not least, let's do one shuffle one, and let's make that the Dark Mask. And that, my friends, is Svblime Est by Cinematic Alpha. You can see there's just a ton of content here, and the sound design engine, I'm going to go ahead and clear out this multi just to show you just for a moment. All right, let's go back to the folders. You can see you've just got a ton of content, and in the sound design engine, it's really simple. You know, you've got distortion, delay, reverb, and chorus. You've got your ADSR envelopes, an equalizer, rotator, crush, and filter. Everything's on the main page. There's not a lot of, layers here. It's just really to refine the sound and to let you kind of hone it in and make it your own a little bit. But you can see there's just a ton of content here. I especially like the strings in this library. I think the strings are really nice. There's a lot of good, the flatandos are good. The movimento, where you've got that kind of fake rebowing going on, and the harps are really, really good. That might be the best instrument in the entire library as far as just ringing and, being super clear and very much sounding like a harp. But lots of content. You've got tons of things in your strings, your woodwinds, your brass, your percussion. You've got a few solo instruments. You've got phrases, which are really helpful when it comes to, carrying the rhythmic bed on your track. some miscellaneous things with some just different sound design. The choirs for me are a real highlight. I like the choirs a whole lot. And then finally, you've got your multis, which is really where you can get in there and layer and combine the different instruments. And, with your full ARP, you can just get into some really interesting rhythms and, rhythmic undergirding for your track. Thanks for checking out Svblime Est with me today. So what are your thoughts? Would you use this in your own tracks and scoring work? Comment below and let us know what you think. Please like the video and share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to check out SampleLibraryReview.com for more news and reviews, and to stay in the know about weekly sales via our weekly deal compressor.